Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl, Mitzi. Yes, Mitzi. And we are here to help you keep on thinking with Let's Think About It talk show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are thinking about laughing at yourself and the world today, and that is a thinker. We need to learn to laugh at ourselves and just other people in the world and just have this good sense of humor that for some reason is dying out, right? So I got Chris here who's going to help us think about this in a way so that we can keep on thinking. So with that being said, thank you so much, Chris, for coming on my show and sharing your time and perspective with me. I have to ask you, when you hear the words laughing at yourself, what does that make you think about?
Oh, that makes me think about basically the simple the simple answer, because there's a lot of complicated ones. The simple answer is don't hide. Because the reason people don't laugh at themselves is because they do something silly and then they
Yeah.
try to hide it.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. Oh, it's the fault of the carpeting. Laugh at it. Enjoy it. Embrace your stupidity, if you will.
How did you learn to embrace your stupidity?
Well, a long time ago, I was 15 years old, and as 15-year-olds do, they have emotional problems. I had a nervous breakdown
Okay.
because I kept trying to be what everybody else wanted. I mean, at the time, again, we're talking about previous, there were the athletes, and the athletes beat up the little guys. And I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I was, frankly, I had asthma. I couldn't do a lot of things, but I kept trying harder and I kept trying harder and I kept trying harder. And you know what? I can't do that. And it literally caused me to an emotional whatever.
Yeah.
So then I decided I don't give a crap, excuse the language, what anybody thinks about me. And I went into the world and if I did something silly, I laughed at myself. In fact, I brought it to everyone. Look what I did, kind of thing. And I says, you know what? This is better.
Yeah.
And if I can laugh, I actually became a comedian as a result of it.
Isn't it freeing? You know what I mean? Isn't it such a freeing feeling to just take a moment, observe what you just did, even though it may be embarrassing to some, and just laugh at it and just be like, you know what? It is what it is. Oh, wow. Like I've had people, they will hold like memories of some of my most embarrassing moments for them. They're like, Missy, you always have embarrassing moments. But like me, I have no recollection of any of it because like I laughed it off. I let it go off my shoulder like the wind it goes. You know what I mean? Because
I
it no longer phases me. So I love when you said you had a nervous breakdown and you had to come to that realization like, what am I gonna do? Continue with this hot messery that's only gonna kill me, or just laugh it off and just let it go. So why do you think if we are able to laugh at ourselves, how can we start laughing at the world?
Well, the world is easy because once you can laugh at yourself, you have the right to laugh at other people. And you give yourself that right. I'm not going to say you don't. But the point is if you walk around stiff and judgmental's a lot of it. But if you walk around stiff and judgmental, you look at the whole world and say, "Oh, that's not me. That's not me.
Yeah.
I don't like that." One thing I love is romance, right? People of 40 years old look at romance and say, "Oh, I was so stupid back then."
Okay.
Well, I never let that happen. I the other day, it was about it was a couple of years ago now. I literally stopped the car. I went and got my wife some flowers for no reason. I stopped the car in the driveway. It's my house. And I came to the door and I knocked. And I waited and I knocked again. And finally, my wife, thinking I had a load in my arms or something, and she opened the door and I says, "Hi, Georgianne. I would love to go on a date with you. I brought you some flowers." Now, most people, I can see you're smiling because you see the romance in it. Most people would look at that and say, why stupid did you do that standing outside? If you want to give your wife flowers, walk inside. That's not the point. Do the stupid. Enjoy the stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I have a neighbor across the street, and he he looks at me. I dance my way to my car. I dance to the music in my head. I don't care. And he looks at me, and sometimes he won't even talk to me. And I says, you know what? That's his problem.
It
And I don't
is.
judge him. I don't
Yeah,
mean to judge him. I am simply stating a fact. If he can't look at the world and laugh at it, that's something he has to deal with, not me. And
exactly.
um, I'm quite sure he's judged me as somebody weird, somebody odd, somebody, oh, we don't talk to him. But you know what? I'm not going to have a heart attack about it.
Right? And at the end of the day, you're having fun in your life. You're learning to find joy in the simplest forms. And even if that means going out, buying your wife some flowers as if she were 18 years old, knocking at her parents' house, wanting her to come out. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Allow the imagination, the creativity to be there so that that spark of joy that is so lost after so many years of being together. I mean, if anything, you need to start giving out relationship advice. You know
Oh,
what I
I can
mean?
do that. Well, I like I said, I because you know, young men, young women, they're both the same. Young women want romance, and young men will do so many stupid things. You hear about it all the time. So many
Yeah.
stupid things. Oh, I did this, or I can't ask her to prom unless I tape 67 roses to her locker door. You know, yeah, I, but why do you stop?
Yeah,
Why
that's
did you
true.
stop? Well, I stopped because I caught her. That doesn't mean anything
Yeah.
because and we just mentioned relationships. It works with everything. If
Yeah.
I slip and fall when I'm walking across my lawn, I'm not standing up and looking around to see if anybody saw. Oh, good, nobody saw. I'm standing up looking around. Hey, did you see that? Because
I
I laugh at
know.
myself. I want to laugh at myself. I don't
Yes,
want
yeah.
to look. And the other side of that coin, laughing at the world, is like I don't want to judge you. I don't want to say if you do something silly, I'm going to laugh at it because
Yeah.
that's what we should do.
Yeah. It takes away that judgment. And but then it also can add judgment depending on the person and how they perceive it. Because if they're more on the defense side and always offended from everything, they may take that laughter as like, oh, you're making fun of me. Then that's on them. That's a personal problem on how I've
Well,
looked
that's
at it.
them. Again, I mean, it has, the way I look at it is it has to start somewhere.
It does.
Every person I meet, everyone, whether they're the guy at selling me tickets at the movie, the lady at the grocery store, every person I meet, my goal is to see them smile.
Yeah.
Now,
Hmm.
sometimes, there you go, I saw yours. And
It's not it's not hard.
sometimes they're not going to. That's
Yeah.
not that's and I don't push it. But
Hmm.
if I greet them with a smile and maybe with a stupid joke or oh, I can't find my money in my wallet or whatever, all I want is a smile. I don't want you to sit there and laugh. I don't want to make the world a comedy club, but let's
Yeah.
smile. It's
Yeah.
got to start somewhere.
It
And if
does.
some, in fact, I've told people who are waiting on me, restaurants and things, I look at them and say, well, I sincerely hope I am your worst customer today. Because if I'm the worst, they've had a great day.
Right? That is a good way to think about it because if we go out into this world with that type of perspective, looking for opportunities to make yourself laugh and to make others laugh, then you start to switch your lens. You know what I mean? You start to see the world in a much more easier, relaxed place to live versus being upbeat, scared, tight, can't move, very rigid. And it's like we need to loosen up a little bit and just
and
relax
and
and just
that's
get. And I think that is a great point. And I think that's interesting how you got into comedy because it's like your whole life is about finding joy and putting joy into other people. And then you make it your profession, you know? So I
Yeah.
guess that's interesting, right?
Well, another add. Let's add to the pot. Okay.
Yes.
I did make it my profession. However, I found out I had asthma and I couldn't perform for 40 minutes.
Mm,
Well, after years go by of being treated for asthma that never gets better, I find out I have an incurable disease. It's
mm,
called alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency, and nobody's going to be able to spell that, and it doesn't matter. But I have it. The point is, what am I going to do about it?
yeah.
Every person in this world can look at themselves and say, I have a problem. Mine is an incurable disease. I can't do stand up comedy. That doesn't mean I can't write comedy.
Yeah.
I think you've seen my website if you haven't, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I can't write comedy. So you adjust and you
Yeah.
laugh at your. I'm going to look at my antitrypsin deficiency and say, you're not going to stop me. But not everybody can do that. And I mean, it's not like I lost legs and arms. God forbid, thank you. I didn't, and I feel terrible for those people. But
Yeah.
even they need to look at themselves and say, okay, fine. This is my situation.
Yeah.
We were born, excuse the term, we were born idiots. Okay.
Mhm.
Everybody is in some way going to do stupid things. They are.
Yeah.
No one's perfect. If you laugh at it, then you will feel better about it. If
Yeah.
you, I'm not going to say laugh out loud at somebody's pain or somebody's stupid. I won't say pain because I apologize. That was wrong. But if you laugh at somebody stupid and they can't laugh at it, you back off and say, okay, that's them. You
Yeah.
accept them. And all I ask in the world is to accept me. And if you don't accept me, I'm not going to judge you for it. You didn't accept me. I have
Yeah.
friends that accept me.
Yeah, and that's okay. And all we have to do is just continue to move forward and not get tied down to the people who
Mm-hmm.
do who don't get you or the people who don't accept you, who the people that just don't want to see the world the way that you want to see it, you know, and it's you just got to let them go. There's billions and billions of people on this earth. Don't get caught up by one single person. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm curious. I have to ask you, what is your pet peeve in this world? Like, what is it? What is one of your pet peeves? Or if you have multiple, what are two?
Oh, my pet peeves.
I think
Cold
everyone
coffee.
has cold coffee.
Cold
Cold.
coffee.
So
And it's funny.
you're not one to go to the drive-through and ask for an iced coffee then, huh?
Oh, don't get me started. Oh, my son is 22 years old. My son loves iced coffee. It drives me crazy because you don't drink coffee iced. I've had it. I'm not going to say I don't like it. I can honestly say to you I don't like it, so I don't drink it, but
Mm-hmm.
I look at it and if my coffee gets cold, I'll sit there and take it right back to the microwave and warm it up because I can't stand cold coffee.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Boy,
I understand what you mean because I don't like cold coffee. I don't like because it's like gets nuke and it gets like me. You know what I mean? Like I like my food hot. I like my coffee hot, my tea hot. And if I drink
yep,
like if I drink cold coffee, it's like frozen. You know what I mean? It's like it's more
yeah,
like a smoothie. You know what I mean? So then when it
yeah.
melts, it turns into iced coffee, and I don't want that. That's like ugh.
I don't
That's
want
like
iced coffee. I want
yeah.
coffee.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Like I'm not a big fan of ice. Like when people buy it for me without asking me what I want and them like and because they usually get French. I'm not a French vanilla person. I'm a caramel person. You know what I mean? So you get me French vanilla thinking that it's gonna be that default side. I'm like, ugh, or pumpkin. I'm not a pumpkin anything in my coffee either.
Well,
Like
I got to
I
tell you, I got
go
to
ahead.
tell you, once a year, I make my trek for a pumpkin spice latte. Once a year.
Oh, they got you in the
That's okay.
trap.
That's okay. No, no, no. Oh, yeah, they caught me. They busted me. I'm not going to deny that. Again, that's my stupid, but I have one. I don't have two. I don't go through. I mean, I know people who says I gotta have pumpkin spice. No, that's fine, but I have one. Okay, now I did. If anybody asks, yep. Now I'm done. I don't want it anymore.
Right? Like, okay, I tasted it. It was in my throat. It was in my belly. It was in my mouth. It went down the whole thing all the way. It did the process, and I'm good. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
Like it's hard for me to try new things when it comes to like food because I
Oh,
like what
I
I like. You know what I mean? And I know what I like. So when I experiment with new foods, it's very disappointing because I'm expecting a certain flavor, a certain texture, and it's just like man. I don't know,
that
but yes,
you and I differ on that, and I'm not judging you. We're just different. But
yeah,
I
it's
will go
okay.
into restaurants and say, "What do you think is good today?"
Oh, you like to
And
experiment.
I have tasted some amazing things. I have never no, not that's a lie. That's a complete lie. Only about 4 or 5 times have I
Yeah,
ever been really seriously messed up. There
really.
have been things I won't order again. Like,
Okay.
I won't order that again. But
Yeah,
that's like the pumpkin spice latte. I tried it. I didn't care for it. That's cool.
I
I've
got you.
only ever messed up like 3 times where I'd say, oh my goodness, this is just not edible to me.
Mm,
But I love
okay.
trying anything because I will try anything once.
I feel you. I feel you because there was a point where I was like that, but now I'm just comfortable in my comfort routine. So I think I know exactly what you mean because sometimes I've tried certain things at certain restaurants when they used like before COVID times they used to always have like specials and it was something off the menu. So when you asked the
Yeah.
waiter like yeah, they would bring you this new thing and it would be oh my goodness, so delicious. Now I was like, wow. And then you could never taste it ever again because it would never come back again. You know what I mean? So yes,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Sometimes it's worth just trying something new because the experience is
Well,
amazing.
again, you're not looking at life correctly. You say you
Oh,
can't get it again. Ask for it. I do. There
but
are
if you,
things that have been off the menu. I don't know if you know of it. There's a restaurant, Bob Evans Restaurant. For a bunch of years, it doesn't matter. It could be local to the to my area. I don't know. Once a year, or once a long time ago, they had a sausage sandwich, which was basically a sausage burger with
okay.
onions and tomato.
Oh,
And again, you may not like onion and tomato, but
no,
that's
I
beside the
do.
point. They
Mm-hmm.
had it. Well, for some reason, they discontinued it.
Uh-huh.
To this day, I go in there, and when I feel like it, I say, I want that. And they look at me and they say, I don't know if we can do that. And I says, I bet you can. And even though it's just a family restaurant, it's not like, Moulin Rouge or anything, they'll sit there and they'll always come up with it.
And they'll
Usually, what
figure
they'll
it
do is
out.
they'll take two other sausage patties, smash them together to make one big sausage patty and put it on a bun. Now, that particular isn't hard to make. I'm not asking for ratatouille or anything. But
Yeah.
the point is, it doesn't matter. Ask for it. If the chef made it once, he knows how to make it.
Well, yeah, unless they change chefs. You know what I mean? And change chefs
Oh,
and took
yeah.
his cookbook, then then you won't have the same burger. I mean the same sandwich, but I know what you mean though. I know what you mean. I know
But
exactly
no,
what you mean. It's
the
the
point
point is to just
is
keep going after
we're
it.
talking about laughing at yourself. Okay. You're talking about laughing, but let's laugh at the world. The world changed. I don't want the world to change. I'm not going to be stiff and let the world and just accept what the world did. I'm going to look at myself and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to ask because that's another part of it.
Yeah.
Accept no.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people, a lot of people, walk up to you and say, I'm going to, will you buy me a cup of coffee? And I might say, okay, and give them $3 to buy their coffee or take them in the store and buy their coffee. Other times I will say, no, I won't buy you a cup of coffee. And I know this is a bad example, but let's accept it. And then they get all up in your face and say, look, I've been doing all of this stuff for you, and I've done this, and I can't do anything, and I'm gonna die in 5 minutes, and you won't buy me a lot. No, except no. If I ask somebody something, even my kids, who a lot of people consider their kids, you know, shoot, don't know the word.
Entitled?
Um, Pardon?
Entitled?
They expect their kids to just obey without question. I don't know the word for it. I apologize. But if I ask one of my kids, hey, can you run to the kitchen and pick me up a soda? And they say, no, I can't. I can accept the no. I don't say, what? I bred you and I paid $100,000 for your education and I did that. No, you said no. I accept no.
Yeah,
You know,
I
because
agree.
if you can't if you're laughing at yourself and you're because it's all about hey, the world is out there.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Don't get hung up on stuff.
Yeah.
I have a friend and I won't say anything, but when she was in first or second grade, some other girl pushed her over in the playground.
Okay.
To this day, she when she had children, and again, I'm 60 years old, so my friends are older. When she had children, her husband really liked the name of that girl and suggested it. And she would not. And the reason she would not is because that girl pushed her over in the playground. That's holding something way too long.
Way too long and way too petty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. People need to just let that petty stuff go because it's not even worth holding on because you only hurt yourself. So yes, I absolutely 110% agree. We need to stop taking it so personal and we need to accept the no's because the no's helps us within, you know what I mean? It helps us
Yeah.
understand. It helps us to respect people's boundaries. It helps us respect our own boundaries. It does so much more that it gives us our power back. It gives the person their power back. It gives so much more in so many different levels that people are just stuck at, oh, you hurt my feelings because you said no. I'm sorry, but no, it's not about hurting your feelings. You need to just let it go
It's
and move on. You know what I mean? So I agree. I absolutely 110% agree. So I'm noticing the time and it is catching up to us. What can be some lasting words of wisdom? Even though let's be honest, this whole entire conversation, you gave us some great points to really think about. But what can be some lasting words that you can give us off? I mean, to leave us off with to keep on thinking.
the I have a slogan and
Mhm.
I dedicated this slogan officially to all the people in the world who aren't me. And I've noticed there's a lot of them, but laugh now. Don't wait. You can be crabby anytime.
Right. Right. Exactly. You could be crabby anytime. Why not just laugh now? Why not just be happy in this specific moment? Right. Oh my goodness. That
Mhm.
is some great points to keep us
Because if I'm
thinking.
happy in this moment, and then I go to another moment and I'm happy in that moment, and I'm happy in that moment. Actually, you mentioned words of wisdom. This comes to me. This is another of mine. It's remember, don't chase happiness
Mm,
because happiness is slow. It's behind you. You have to stop and you have to wait for it to catch up. The longer you chase it, the further away it gets because happiness is slow. Sit, stop, and wait for it to catch up. It will.
I like that. I like that because you have to stop in the moment. And then that's when happiness just over like embodies you because it's just come on now. Catch up. We need to link together. We're not linking because you're over there running around a mile a minute, just far, far away. I can't see you anymore. Yes, I
And
love that. I
and
think,
and and you do it in the words of chasing the happiness. But the happiness is saying, you can't chase me.
yeah,
I'm here.
yeah,
Just
right.
let me catch up to you.
Exactly, exactly. Those are some great points. Goodness gracious. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing your time and your perspective with me. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to know more about Chris, because how could you not? I mean, he's he has some great points and just great concepts to just start implementing in our lives because man, the way the world is going, why not think about it, right? So please check him out. I have his photo with his website, access to all the great content that he has to share with the world so that you can continue on thinking. So, with that being said, bye.